Here we go. It is our Game of Thrones recap, Season 7, Episode 4. It was entitled The Spoils of War. And Ryan, this episode had everything. I loved it. I think it was one of the best episodes, certainly the best episode of the season, and one of the best episodes, I think, of the entire series. It was awesome.
They just threw the whole kit and caboodle at you. You know what I mean? It was something else.
They had a dragon, lighting people on fire. And really mostly that's what I was focused on. I was excited about the dragon, but there were so many things, I think so many memorable moments. Like when you look back, at the whole series, there's certain things that jump out to you, like certain, conversations between characters or certain major events. This one, I think we're going to look back on, and it had maybe 3 or 4, including the Stark reunion. Let's start with that one. You have Arya arriving back at Winterfell. Obviously, she misses Jon Snow, but she catches up with Sansa and with dickhead Bran, and now you get the 3 of them all together.
Which was great. Hang on. Sorry, we'll edit that in post.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was great. And they had this like really awkward conversation between Arya and Sansa where they're like, so, how are things?
What?
You know what I mean?
How,
and they're like,
how have you been?
Yeah. And then it was like, oh, yeah, my life's sucked up until now. And then Sansa's like, oh, by the way, fucking Bran's batshit now. So you want to go see him?
Bran's terrible. At least Bran this week wasn't like, hey, Sansa, remember when you got raped? Because I do.
Because I was there. I saw the whole thing.
I remember that. Want to talk about that?
Which leads itself into like these really interesting conversations about Bran. And then I've heard this like fan theory, and I tried to explain it to my wife, and she's like, that's stupid. But the fact that like Bran isn't Bran anymore, but he's the three-eyed raven, and then that guy is basically stuck in like a loop, like a time loop.
Yeah, he's in a loop, but he remembers everything that Bran does. I mean, clearly he remembers like everything, but there's even a line in there. He's like, I know what it was like for Bran to be Bran or whatever the hell, but he's like, but I am the three-eyed raven, and he's got no like emotion.
So like this whole thing with like the other three-eyed raven was there the first time that the White Walkers were there, and he helped defeat them. And then like, so him and Bran are like synced. So like now the Bran's going to go back in time and be the other three-eyed raven when he was younger. Like there's this whole like loop that they're like stuck in.
Yeah. It
gets really weird. It's very abstract and very weird, but like I'm sitting there like explaining it to my wife, and I can do this because we're on Google Hangouts, but she's like that face, like, and then she's like, that's stupid. Like, you're stupid. I'm like, I didn't make it up. I'm just telling you what other people said.
You're like, I liked when the dragon burned all the people. You're like, yeah, me too. I can relate. That's something I like.
Yeah, you know what? I will hang my hat on that. That's some good stuff.
That was pretty good. I love the scene how Arya gets into Winterfell, and then Sansa's like, you can't run from the guards. And she's like, I don't run.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love how she never lies and nobody believes her. Like, and then obviously once Sansa sees her training with Brienne, which is another awesome scene, like her and Littlefinger see that, and they're like, oh yeah, she's not messing around. But when she was like, why were you gonna go to King's Landing? She's like, I was gonna kill Cersei, she's on my list. And she's like, what list? She's like, people I'm gonna kill. And she's like, oh, haha. Like, no.
Oh no, it was Bran who was like, Cersei's on her list.
Oh yeah, well he knew. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, he knew exactly what it was. And she's like,
that was awesome. But it was weird. So explain to me, maybe you can shed some light on this. So the Brienne Arya like duel, you call it a duel. It wasn't really a fight. They were just a demonstration, if you will,
like sparring session,
like in karate when you used to break the boards.
Yes, very as a discipline.
Kia.
Yes.
Yeah. Sansa looked pissed, like at the end of that, like she was mad about that.
She gets mad about everything. Like she doesn't like Jon Snow. I don't think she doesn't like Arya. I don't know. Maybe she just knows that there's so much she doesn't know about her. Like she's a legit badass.
Yeah, and I got the feeling that like whatever Sansa thinks she's good at, there's like someone better than her. Like everyone in her family is better than her at something.
Except maybe brushing her hair.
And she hasn't like found her thing yet. Like she makes dresses, and that's like her thing.
It's nice though. You need people to make dresses, or what? You're not gonna have dresses. So.
Yeah, I mean those dire wolves aren't going to sew themselves on their apparel. No,
they're not.
So she's the branding agent. She's the marketing person.
The other big thing with the Starks, of course, was the dagger that Bran gives to Arya. This is like a big deal. Obviously, Littlefinger had it, and it's Valyrian steel, the dagger. And this goes all the way back to season 1, where this was the dagger used in the attempt to kill Bran. And if you look into it, it basically led to all of this happening. Like Rob and Catelyn Stark and like everything, all their motivations were about somebody trying to kill Bran. And then this dagger is now in play, and now Arya has it, who I think will probably put it to good use.
And that was funny when he's like, it's wasted on a cripple, and he like hands it to her. And you got to wonder, like, Bran knows, if he knows something, he knows something's going to happen with it, you know. And I think that there's giving it to Arya means something.
Yes,
you know, he was supposed to get that and give it to her, and then he MFs Littlefinger a little bit when he's like, "Oh yeah, chaos is a ladder, right, buddy? Remember that? Remember that one?"
He's like, "No."
Yeah, I didn't say
no.
Yeah,
Littlefinger too is gonna be pissed. He's like, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for the fucking three-eyed raven. He's like, this guy,
kids.
He's on borrowed time. I had a feeling that Littlefinger, just the way he is, he's a survivor. I thought he was going to be able to get through the season. After watching this episode, I'm not as sure.
I don't know if he walks out of Winterfell under his own power.
No,
he might go out, but he's not going to be happy about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's not leaving there happy.
Yeah.
So he had this big design to like get with Sansa, and you know, because she's the one I guess in the books looks the most like Catelyn.
That makes sense.
Like, they're like a spitting image of each other. So like, you know, of course he's deep in the friend zone with her.
He's got the hots for her. Yeah. Now, one of the other big moments was obviously Jon Snow and Daenerys. They spoke a lot. They had like a long conversation. They went, you know, cave diving. It was like the movie The Descent. They were in there and they were spelunking, and they saw cave drawings, and it was from the Children of the Forest, Ryan, who, as far as I know, they were the ones who created the White Walkers when they stabbed a man with dragon glass, right? That was from a few seasons ago. They showed us that. Yeah. And so, but anyway, they show the Children of the Forest with the First Men fighting together against the White Walkers, which is what they're trying to get going now.
Right. And then the whole thing, everyone face palms when she's like, all right, like, we'll get this done as soon as you bend the knee. And everyone's just like, God damn, like, come on. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
What's worse at this point? Is it Dany insisting that he bends the knee, or him just not bending the knee?
And that's the thing. Like, she said to him, like, what's more important, the survival of your people or your pride? And if I were him, because, you know, I'm handy with the tongue sword, I would have said,
sure you are.
What about your pride? What about you, like, putting this down and being like, you know what? No, this doesn't matter. Like, whatever you want to do doesn't matter anymore. You're like, we're done. We're the Seven Kingdoms thing. You know what I mean?
It is good. Like, they both have good back and forths because they're like, this is how it always was. Like, well, I'm not like that. And then they're like, well, this is how it was. And he's like, yeah, but I'm not like that either. And they just keep like going back, like ping ponging back and forth. Because I'm with you. I think he shouldn't have to bend the knee, but it's like, dude, if you want to get the dragons, like, sort it out later. Like, just fucking do it. But anyway, I guess that's what. Now, she asks Jon Snow for advice, which I thought was kind of like, she's kind of losing it already. Like, she just met this guy a little bit ago. She's not even sure if she can trust him. And then she's like, what would you do? But I guess the question is, did she even take his advice?
Maybe. But again, you know, Tyrion's kind of fucking up left and right. And, you know,
he's struggling right now.
Varys is just kind of there. Like, he's not really doing anything. You know,
he's surviving. He was like threatened in episode 1 or 2, and now he's just he's holding on.
You know what? Yeah, I'll do my thing back here. Yeah, I'll stick my hand in my robe like this. You know, just cover my man boobs and be like, I don't know. You know?
Now, so she takes one dragon. She takes Drogon into battle, but they only do it like over like the battlefield. So I think, you know, Jon Snow was like, hey, you can't just take your dragons and torch everybody, or you're no different. Even though it's very different, because who else?
It's incredibly different, yeah.
It couldn't be more different. But so she only takes one, and she's just carving up soldiers, like Lannister and Tarly soldiers. So she's not messing around with like the citizens. So I guess maybe she kind of half took it, because she did use the dragon, which was amazing. Like, that was the best.
That was one of the best, as you said. It was one of the best, not only scenes in this season, but in the entire show. Like, that was. I'm sure you were I was on the edge of my seat, so I only assume that you were on when the scorpion came out. And you were probably just sweating bullets.
I was like, no. Because I was like, I thought they were like returning from like a battle. So I'm thinking to myself, they might not even have that. Like they might even not have it with them. And then when Jamie's talking to Braun and Jamie's like, yeah, I only got one hand. I'm like, no, don't you dare bring this thing out.
Yeah.
And then they unfold it or whatever. And he's hooking it up, and I was freaking out. I'm freaking out when he's got it.
You're getting some ass sweat going, and
it's too bad too because I like Braun as a character, but now by proxy I hate Braun and I want Braun dead. Don't you dare shoot and hit. He hit. He's 1 for 2. He's got 50% accuracy with the Scorpion.
Yeah.
And so he drills the dragon in like I'd say like the shoulder, right?
Yep.
Not dead, obviously, because he saved Danny. Like what a turn of events! Because now you got Jamie coming in on the horse with the spear going in there, ready to. He could have killed Danny right there. Doesn't. Yeah. The dragon wakes up. The dragon's messed up, and I don't know. How do you heal a dragon? Do dragons heal themselves? Do we even know? What happens?
Same with Harley.
Sam's gonna save the fucking dragon.
Yep. You watch. He's a healer now, so he's gonna come with Mormont.
He's the mercy of Westeros.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's gonna be it. You watch. And then I love the line, the Tyrion line, just being like, turn around, you fucking idiot. Like turn around. Like when Jamie's going at the dragon, like you just fucking stop.
Get out of there. And so obviously, so Drogon is not dead, but he's not doing great. Hopefully good enough to fly out of there with Danny. Jamie ends up in like a suddenly really deep body of water.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like how the hell? Like he's running and the horse is like shin deep in the water. Like the horse is like running full gallop, so the water's not that deep. Braun tackles him, and then he's like in an abyss.
You think like a false from
the movie The Abyss. Like he's in the fucking Marianas or whatever the fuck that is trench.
I didn't really get that, but so I don't think he didn't get burned or anything, and so that was Braun, right? I wasn't 100% sure.
I'm pretty sure that was Braun. Yeah.
Okay, and so he saves him, and so do you think either of them? I'm trying to remember because you got the Dothraki are all there, and they were clearly winning that with the help of the dragon.
Yeah,
is Jamie and Braun gonna get taken hostage, or do you think they're gonna be able to get out of there?
I have no idea. Do they have like the Robin Hood trick? They got like the little reed like above the water, like they're just like on their back, like breathing. I don't know how they get out of that.
They might get taken in, which would be crazy because if they do, like Tyrion's relationship with both of those guys, like he loves both of them. Yeah. And so that's going to be weird. And then think about that. Tyrion is already kind of screwing up with some of his decisions.
Yeah.
And then if he gives them any kind of preferential treatment, she's going to be like, piss off.
And she already called him out for it.
Yeah.
I really like, oh yeah, not your enemy, you mean your family? Like she called him out for it a little bit.
Yeah, he's struggling.
We still don't know how Grey Worm is. Like we assume he's fine, but no word from them yet, right?
He's not a virgin anymore.
Well, he's not a mouth version anymore.
I don't know what they did.
He's got
to me it counts.
He's like a Ken doll.
He is handsome.
Oh, isn't he though?
I'll give you that. So I would say, do you care about the bank? Obviously, the bank's going to come back in, but that was the least exciting part.
That was the least exciting thing. But I knew as soon as, and I think the gold is on its way. But as soon as they said your debt is paid, as soon as the gold gets here, in my mind, I was like, "There's no fucking way that gold gets there. There's no way. No. There's no way it gets there." So if they said it's in King's Landing, but it hasn't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah.
So do the Dothraki catch up to it?
They could, or it could just be like, does gold burn?
At very high temperatures, I believe.
Like dragon breath temperatures?
That'll melt it.
That would do it. The other thing I noticed about this episode is when you get like the scene with Brienne, and then you also get a really good scene with Braun, and you're like, I haven't seen these two in forever. And you're like, there are so many characters now, and like compelling characters, that there's just not enough time for all of them. And like that's why I think they're going to have to start killing off a few more pretty soon.
And my wife asked actually a really good question. Where is Gentry? Remember Gentry, the blacksmith who was Robert Baratheon's kid, and they put the red lady put the leeches on him, and then the thing came out of her sniz. Remember that?
He made love to her, didn't he?
He just disappeared though. Like where did he go?
Yeah. He's going to end up marrying like Arya or something. And
I don't think,
bring those families together. I don't know.
Who knows?
But anyway, I thought so. Again, the most like impactful moments were, obviously the dragon fight,
Sure.
and the dragon killing.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this: a missed opportunity? Should they have brought all 3 dragons? And if they did that, maybe they don't even need to bring the Dothraki. Maybe
I know.
Just bring 3 dragons, and you torture them, and you move on.
I think they operate like like a hockey team, or the second you get Drogon, who's like your starting center. You know what I mean? And then you have like your second string guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to bring someone off the bench. And I those other 2 were put in captivity for so long that maybe they
don't play well.
They don't play well yet. Maybe they're still learning.
And maybe she feels more comfortable. She's like, I need to ride one, and I don't know who else can ride one yet.
And that's the one. She rides Drogon. She doesn't know who rides the other 2.
Yeah, good point.
So.
All right, so there's
just an insurance policy. You don't want to show all your cards. You know what I mean?
There's that. It's true. Yeah. But you got an amazing battle. Obviously, that was a battle for the ages, including the dragons and the Dothraki on the horses. The whole thing was great. You got Jon Snow and Daenerys talking in the cave. I think that's going to obviously be really important. Jaime almost becoming both a Kingslayer and a Queenslayer, as he was about that close from killing Daenerys. Maybe a little bit further than that. To scale, you got
to scale. On the screen, it was like that far.
Yeah. What else? We got? Anything else?
That was good. And like, I was waiting for the dragon like tail whip. Like because it showed him like smashing some carts like with his tail. Like he wouldn't have got within 20 yards of her, and he just just like knock him in the next world. You know what I mean?
Do you think the dragon? And forgive me, maybe we already know the answer to this. Do they have a real taste for human flesh?
Not yet. What if they do? They'll get the hunger. Like in It's Always Sunny, you get the hunger.
Yeah, exactly. They might.
Nothing tastes as good anymore.
No, it's just trash. That might be nuts. So next week's episode 5. It's only a 7-episode season. Episode 5 is entitled Eastwatch. I don't know much about it, except I saw it's going to be the same director as this past episode. So I feel like that's good news.
And that's where the White Walkers are headed. They're headed towards Eastwatch, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
So finally, they're going to make an appearance finally in this season.
They have really slowed to a halt almost at this point.
Like I said before, they don't call them the White Runners. You know what I mean?
They don't. That's a good joke. I think keep bringing that back. Yeah. I would also say if you listen to our episode last week, we've done one each week so far. If you listen to the one last week, I wouldn't say we were down on the season. I just feel like there was more things to sort of question and point out and talk about. Are they rushing things? We just had a lot of questions.
Yeah, down is not. We were just very eager to see something. You know what I mean? Like we saw last night, which was phenomenal.
Like one time, famously, you said on a YouTube video, "What's scarier than nothing?"
Something.
And I said, "It's got to be something.
It's got to be something." Yeah. And it was I will just end this. It was a fantastic evening of television last night. I went from Game of Thrones, had myself a little bevy, and then sat down and took it. And Wes, it's Ryan from DORK Podcast here. I'd just like to say that Rick and Morty is a show.
Yes, it is.
That exists, and worth watching. And I will say last night that Pickle Rick was worth price of admission. Pickle Rick was unbelievable.
What a night of TV. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was the best Game of Thrones this season, and that was the best Rick and Morty this season.
Yeah. Pickle Rick was unbelievable.
Pickle Rick was great. What kind of bevy did you have?
It was a Down East cider. As you know, I'm off beer because of the gluten. You know
I'm not. In fact, I'm drinking a nice Idle Hands.
Former sponsor. It's
I'm still paying it.
Still sponsor of Rich Keefe, not of #DORK Podcast.
No, not even anymore. But that's that. Let's see. This week, our episode on the podcast, depending on when you watch this, maybe it's already out. It's going to be released on Tuesday night. It's going to be Stephen King movies. Davey was in studio,
live and direct.
It was tremendous. We were joined by Uncle Buck from the Boston Sports 101 podcast, and we went through every GD Stephen King inspired movie. And I think we did it. I think we did okay.
We did all right. We got to talk about Sleepwalkers and The Night Flyer, which was all I showed up for.
The Langoliers and other classics like that. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Again, we have all the other ones in the archive. You can check out the rest of the videos we have on this channel. And I'm sure we'll be back next week as well on the #DORK channel here on the YouTube. We'll see you later.